Let's talk about these self-proclaimed liberal white women and how they're just as racist as these conservative Karens that they talk about. So for those who may not know, Rebel Wilson was trending yesterday, and of course I was curious to see what was going on, only to find out she was trending because she was invited on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen to chat about her Love Without Labels dating app, but somehow Meghan Markle got into the mix.
You were telling me during the break, you introduced your mom to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle?
Yeah, well, we were just talking royal family stuff in the break. And, we went up to Santa Barbara, met Harry, could not have been nicer.
Had you known them before, I would assume?
No, we just had a mutual friend in common, a polo player. And then we went up, but then Meghan was not as cool.
Oh, really?
It wasn't as naturally.
Now, notice in this clip, she attempted to paint Prince Harry as the nice one, but then she went on to paint Meghan as pretty much the angry black woman. But watch the follow-up.
But maybe, I don't know, and then my mum being Australian just asked her all these slightly rude questions.
Oh,
and I was like, Mum,
what was she asking?
Where are your kids? And things like that. And I'm like, Ma, don't ask her that.
Well, then maybe that's why she was.
Maybe that's why she was a bit like, who are these annoying convicts from Australia?
But Harry was lovely.
Yeah, he was actually lovely.
Now, I'll be honest here. I think Andy Cohen was being strategic by bringing this up because, of course, he did admit that this was a conversation they had during the break. But let's just be honest, we all know what Meghan Markle's name brings, and he knew that that was going to bring some attention to this episode. She also failed to mention that she made fun of their Oprah interview at the BAFTAs last year, but I digress. But of course, this is her and her mother looking like two unseasoned butterball turkeys, and they actually look like the typical Meghan Markle hater that I see in my comments all the time. I'm gonna just leave it at that. And let's just keep it real. We all knew what her mother was getting at when she was asking about the kids, because we know the derangers have constantly perpetuated this lie that these kids don't even exist. Now, Rebel has a history of being racist towards black women specifically. She even went on a blocking spree to block a bunch of black people for pointing out the simple fact that she was not the first plus-size woman to star in a romantic sitcom. They actually pointed out two black women, Monique and Queen Latifah. But instead of her saying, my bad, she decided to block these black people. And of course, for her to try to paint Meghan as this angry black woman when this woman was labeled rude by her own co-stars. However, Meghan, on the other hand, was not. And just like the typical deranger, she's also obsessed with Meghan. I rest my case.